e-gaming bets. We accept bets on computer games online since 2011. Referral system for regular users and the first deposit bonus. Gaming devices store and the best choice of payment systems. Dota 2 and Hearthstone, Counter-Strike and StarCraft, World of Tanks and League of Legends. EGB.com. You know for sure who's going to win.
Getting tired of playing with the usual skins but don't have enough money to buy a new one? Get rich fast with CSGoFast.com. CS Go Fast. It's a strong chance of winning in every game. Several rooms with different game modes. Daily, more than 1,000 games, 5,000 players, and 25,000 skins at stake. You don't need much in order to sweep the board.
Welcome back to the Starladder I-League Star Series Season 2. We have just had two contrasting maps, although pretty damn close on Overpass. And, well, my name is TomBiz14. And, Flakes, what do you think about that Team X performance?
Shaky is the phrase that comes to mind. We saw overtime come into play. And, well, the stats really do tell a strong story here. Rowland, it's nice to see him up the top there, especially considering he basically didn't utilize the AWP at all. No. He was putting in the damage so many rounds in a row with the rifles there. And Groovy had 6 entries as well, so both of them going big. It ended with those 2 or 3, well actually, yeah, 3 AGG players all at the top of the board, which I think was also due to the fact that Team X, the spread of frags was actually pretty impressive. Like, there wasn't really anyone specifically underperforming. But either way, we are going on to Mirage. Team X have won the knife and are expected to start on the CT side. And, well, what are you expecting to see from AGG? I think their T side's pretty damn good. I think they usually tend to have a really decisive T side, but then they seem to struggle on their CT sides. So the key thing I'm looking at is not necessarily this first half. I'm hoping that Team X don't allow them just to barrel them over. I'm hoping Team X do display a strong CT side. But specifically on the topic of AGG, I'm more going to be looking at them over on that CT side in the second half, seeing whether they can, pull together, be a bit more of a cohesive unit, and perhaps, have an edge here. Because the potential for them to walk away with this map certainly wasn't predicted. The odds were an interesting factor alone. But they did just walk away with an overtime win.
Yeah, nice for them. And, well, we already saw them take a map that we pretty much expected to go the way of Team X. I wonder if this is going to be restarted just from the way that the players are playing. There's still a couple of players in form. We can also hear the clicking, and that normally means there's some sort of restart. There we go. So we are going to go back into this pistol round. Either way, we saw quite a few nades come in onto that AGG side, and Hyper has brought them up yet again. A player who has stepped up. I think that was a big factor in the overtime situation, that he went big in a couple of the rounds, found a triple kill or so. But, well, Rowland's still going to be the player I look towards, and Furlan on this map especially is pretty damn good. Either way, Snap Heat with the kit. And apart from the nades already brought up by Hyper, the rest of the players have themselves some Kevlar.
Nice to be seeing us. Modigan already going to be tapping away with the USP, trying to hold off this A start. But the problem is, AGG, they've taken full control of the side already, and not a single frag has rolled in all over the board. Team X playing a very committed retake setup. But in fact, they're going to go for a very ridiculous push. They're going towards window, and Freeze will just tap them away one by one. They will fall. And Pete, albeit trying his best to block to claw things back, they've got control of the bomb. It's not going to be enough. It's Glaive going to deliver another decisive headshot straight into the cream of Pete. Freeze going to pick himself up another frag onto a type. And, well, AGG, what on earth are you doing? You had full control of the A site, didn't go for the bomb plant, all darted towards jungle, all tried to run towards window, and they just got shut down one by one.
Yeah, the thing I really want to highlight as well is Team X winning that pistol, getting themselves off to a start. We saw their CT side of this map against Dignitags was really, really bad, and then their T side was phenomenal as they brought it all the way back. So the possibility to see something of the sort, waiting for that sort of setup to come in. It is only a bit of a force buy coming out from the AGG side with Groovy, Tech 9 armor. Furlan also goes for the dig, but it seems like Pete may have taken more of an AWP role here, although Rowland normally seems to pick it up. It looks like Pete's now sort of taken over that position as he's the one saving here.
Let's see, just a couple of smokes going out on either side here. Flashes being exchanged. We should hopefully be seeing an AGG side looking to play for a bomb plant, and they will actually open things up with a frag. Rowland is the one to step up to the plate this time around, finds a frag on towards Freeze. But as expected, Team X, they are going to up the ante here with these rifles and SMGs, mowing them down, dropping them to the floor. And while we're looking at Hyper, he's the last man standing. He's got a P250 in hand, has the body armor, has the bomb, and that's going to be the crucial factor. But the problem he's got is Valley. He's playing around these pillars, playing such a precarious game, doesn't want to get spotted out until eventually he will go for the peak. We'll take him down. And Team X, they're going to find themselves a quick 2 rounds.
Yeah, and nice start from Team X. No real fragging coming in on the AGG side, keeping it nice and clean. Free will have to rebuy something, but I doubt he'll go for too much. In fact, it looks like he's actually going to be dropped an SMG and just buy some armor into this one. So trying to make more money for that AWP start. We know for a fact that Pete's already doing that, and almost a straight eco coming out, Rowland with a little bit of extra utility as they try and get that bomb down over towards A, and this is going to be the factor here. Running straight in already, we see the bomb drop. Nice work from Modi. He's got the crossfire from his teammates, and the chances of anything really happening slim, but Rowland does manage to take 2 players with him before he dies.
Some good damage being done, but it's not going to be enough. They are still going to be getting into this one with a fairly comfortable rebuy, $6,000 at least on every single player. As Team X will be going for the buy, and you look at the AGG side of things, it's going to be a buy round, but it's going to be not a single AWP in play unless Pete decides to risk it and put just that AWP. He's going to go for the buy in the end, so it's going to be body armor and AWP, so at least we do see that come up. But is it going to pay off? Is the sacrifice of no utility, no sidearm, nothing to boot, just the AWP and the body armor going to pay off? Already Free's going to find himself a tag there.
Yeah, nice start to the round, but not too much damage done. Only a very slim amount taken off Hyper. We are seeing the build into this with Pete on the AWP. I actually think that this could work better for their team if they do this more often. Furlan running into the site, finding the first frag. Snappy just doing his best to stay alive behind the wall of smokes. Doesn't want to go down, as it would leave a much smaller avenue for them to get back into the round. But Fur going aggressive again, or Furlan I should say. And this leaves only 2 players left trying to clutch this one out. Snappy and Modi. Snappy, he's just been stuck behind nades for the whole of the round. A bit of a horrible factor to be in, and you can already see the back off from Modi. He may try and do the same, but he's left sort of in an open scenario, and Modi, he's just decided, okay, this isn't worth it. Likelihood is we'll have something to rebuy within the next round. I might as well just save.
A smart decision nonetheless. He's going to be backing himself nice and comfortably off to that CT spawn, buying his time, playing the patience game, as we see AGG looking to exit out towards short on apps. It's going to be nice to see them. They've got 3 rifles and AWP to take into that 5th round. It's going to be a 3-1 scoreline. But this is going to be the beginning of AGG starting to rekindle that fire and bring it back to a 3-3 scoreline. Because, of course, this next round, the potential for them to break Team X's economy certainly will exist.
Yeah, and, well, this is the sort of problematic scenario already for the CT side, as they do have money onto Glaive, and the decision will be to actually get that AWP back in play once again. Snappy will be the person to purchase that, but it leaves them with very little to spare, and it's sort of a very difficult scenario for the AGG to be in. They've got the nades, they do have the buy, but they need to capitalize on this one, otherwise AGG will be getting off to that strong T side, and we do know that this is a team that they do relish that T side. We've already seen that today on Overpass, and looking to do the same on Mirage.
Well, they're going to be playing very close to smoke, though. We'll try and go for a frag there, but by the skin of his teeth, Ruby will get away with it and actually finds the frag himself. And now Freeze, though, going to be looking to pick up one for himself. But Starladder, he's stepping up to the plate this time around, dishing out the damage. We'll find one, looking to make it 2. Glaive somehow finds it into connector. But now Snappy, he's going to be peeking out, trying to pull the frag back on towards Starland. But he's going to be hitting the deck. Glaive going to make Rowland fall to the floor, and one by one, Team X seem to be going for the peaks there, and it seems to be paying off. As now we're looking back at one player, a common player, to be the last one standing, because it is, of course, going to be Hyper. He's got what's needed, but he is just knocked down. 13 HP, goes for the repeat again. Snappy will take him down, and Team X will walk away with the round. And in fact, it won't be their economy being crushed. It will, in fact, be the side of AGG.
They're going to shoot that AK over to a teammate and keep the rifles in play. So they managed to capitalize in this scenario, save their economy and do damage to their opposition. There will be a buy coming in as the AWP is dropped over, but that means 2 players on the T side that aren't going to have any head armor, which is, of course, a bit of a crucial factor, although 2 AKs picked up an AWP means it is less likely they're going to take those one taps. Roland, arguably the star for this team, will be down on just a Tech 9, and that's going to make things far more difficult than previously expected. Either way, it's going to be some hefty aggression towards mid. The smoke will fall out, and you can see Free just going to wait and go for a spam shot, but not going to spot anything out just yet. Rotation from him will come in, and that will leave very little presence towards mid, except for Glaive, who will find Furlan.
Already found themselves one, looking to make it 2 or even 3. Certainly everything will be on the cards. Here's Glaive, going to be playing very close to this connector smoke. Actually decides to back off. I think that's a smart decision. He knows that at least one player is close towards mid. There's Groovy going to be helping his teammate up. It's going to be Rowland. He's going to be getting himself up towards window. But Glaive, he's expecting it. He's creeping around this corner, creeping around the edge of the smoke, and the Tech 9 is so lethal at these close angles. And it will, in fact, take him down. So Rallen, he's going to gain himself a rifle to play with this time around, as now that window push has paid off. But we're looking at Snappy. He's over towards the tip of short. Not going to be overfacing this one, just playing towards that short angle, holding bricks just to make sure that Pete doesn't decide to go for a face here. But even then, the information will be key, as AGG look like they want to be hinting towards this B site.
Yeah, building towards the B site in a 4 versus 4. There are a couple of players here, but one of them looking towards the short position, going to mean that ultimately Valde has a lot to do. Doesn't have the AWP, but Snappy now going to peek out. That's a nice shot from him as well. The Molotov going to slow things down even more, and one by one, every single player is being cleaned up. Only Rallen left, not going to be able to find the frags, and that's a great hold onto the B site. Keeping that AWP onto free, and now the money for AGG is in a devastating position.
CMX doing a good job of keeping AGG in check so far. They still have a long road ahead of them, because of course we only find ourselves in the 7th round. We've barely just scratched the surface of how far this game is willing to go. But this time around it's just going to be pistols. They really have nothing to put into this round. It's going to be a Tech 9 on Rallen. Most of the pressure to find the frag will be on him, as those Glocks, especially at these sort of ranges, aren't really able to do too much now, as they will be trying to push down to mid. But the AWP freeze going to be missing a handful of shots there, certainly not what he'd hoped for. But Snappy and Glaive will actually pick up the frags in the end. So going to be helping Freeze out. He's knocked down to just 14 HP, and well, straight from the get-go, Tom, I've got to say, I'm hoping Freeze doesn't decide to face anymore.
Yeah, only 14 HP and AWP as well, a very valuable weapon, and if they weren't able to retrieve it, it would be far more costly than him getting, say, an extra frag. The bomb is currently down, and Snappy now spotting that out, going to make things a hell of a lot worse, but the spray being missed. Luckily, he just needs to connect one bullet, and Furlan will walk straight into that. So 6 rounds already on the board for Team X. Getting 4 more will be enough, but getting any more than that, and then AGG really do have a problem. At least, though, into this round, they managed to get themselves a bye.
Bye round will, of course, roll up. It's going to be 5 rifles to the board, Tom. 5 AK-47s. A good amount of utility being able to be pulled up as well. They still have to pull something pretty beautiful out, and it seems like they're just going to be going straight in with an A execute. The one problem they've got is there are 3 players over towards A. They are raring to go. It's going to be Glaive. First man in to find the frags here. Glaive, Valde, and of course the AWP. Well, it's actually not going to be the AWP. The AWP's over in mid. It's over towards B, in fact, really making a mess of that one. As Molly going to be the action man with the rifle to find the first frag. As Glaive going to be setting up the plate now. Going for this crossfire setup. Is it going to take place, though? As they're going to be burning away the Molotov. They have got onto it. They will go for the white peak there. He's going to be looking to find himself a frag of his own, though.
And somehow, Valde going to use that smoke just to save himself in the corner. It leaves 3 players on the side, but Valde, he's not going to spot the player to his left. Somehow he's still surviving and will manage to almost take another one. But it's going to be the trades, and somehow it's come back positively as Pete manages to close down a couple more kills while on just 2 HP. It does leave 3. Oh, is that nade going to be perfect? Yes, it is. It leaves just 1 player left for him to deal with. Going to switch to the rifle. Definitely not his weapon of choice, but if he can find this shot, it would be perfect. The Molotov thrown out. Going to do the damage as well. I think it may just move hyper. Will it spread? Yes, it will. Now he has to move his position. The peak is decent. Go for the defuse. Faking it, but he doesn't have much time. He has to do this very quickly, and it's going to be hyper to close out the round. Big plays from Pete. Big plays from hyper, and they get a second on the board.
Some very nice frags rolling in. It is, as you say, going to be the second round, but the worrying problem for them is it's not done anything to the Team X economy, aside from put a slight dent into it. As now we take a look over to the Danes, and we can see them looking happy as ever. They've got the double up set up rolling in, Snappy and Freeze being the 2 to wield it as usual. And you see the 3 rifles to boot just to support those AWPs, as they will be looking to create their own aura of action. Whereas on the AGG side of things, even with their current buy round off the back of victory, they're still only going to be playing with a Glil and a Tech 9 on Furlan and Rallen, and albeit they do have 3 AKs to play with, you have to ask, they're still in a worse situation than the Team X side.
Yeah, of course, this is going to be that build-up. AGG, as you said, are suffering. Even though they managed to win that round out with only 1 player surviving, it doesn't do too much for their economy, and they need to keep some cleaner ones, otherwise they are just going to be reset here. 1 round is not enough, and Team X are getting ready to just shut them back down. Of course, a couple of mistakes made in that round. Some crucial plays pulled out by Pete, who somehow survived for a ridiculous amount of time. Either way, 3 players edging their way over towards the site. It will be a quick trade with Free and Glaive trading in places, and, well, it's looking very good at the moment as everybody's getting shut down. Only 2 remain. Rallen with the Tech 9, who's nowhere near the action, will manage to get an AWP, and that's a big factor here. He could just run away with this, or he could go for that challenge. The question is whether he feels like it's worth saving this alone. versus actually trying to take this one. And it looks like the normal primary Orca is going to go for this.
His dreams are well and truly intact. He wants to be finding this round, and well, with 30 seconds on the clock, if he's going to pull something off, he needs to do it quickly, and he's going to be doing just that. Takes down Freeze, a decisive headshot with the Tech 9 to do the damage there, as now he's going to be pushing up close and personal, looking to do even more with his Tech 9, grabs the bomb, and now darting over to the B site. With 15 seconds, will he have time? As that clock is going to be ticking down further and further, he will be able to get a plant. And all Team X now have to pull off a retake. They do have the one-man advantage, so it should be a simple play and a crossfire, trade off of each other. And it should be a fairly simple round at that. But Rowland, not a player that you can count off, because he's going to be making sure this one gets in a very close scenario. Finds the pick on towards Molly, brings it back to a 1v1, and this is not a simple round at all anymore, because Valve, he needs to step up in a huge fashion here. Gets himself on towards the bomb, going to be going for the stick here, but it's going to be ticking away. 3 seconds, 1 second on the board. The defuse will roll in, and he's got away with it. Valve has found the defuse, found the round. He will get punished. Rowland will find the pick with the AWP, but it's not going to be enough. Team X are going to walk away with the round. And well, on the AGG economy, the only thing they're going to be able to get up in this round is going to be Rowland with the AWP.
Yeah, they look like they are going to force it, though. Rowland could drop an AK alongside the AWP, and they're going to force up some Tech 9s in order to try and break this economy. Of course, the CT side, they get the round, but they took so much damage. Rowland alone manages to pull things all the way back to a 1v1 and ends up finishing off the player in the opposing camp.
Molly going to go on the aggressive punish. Phil, and we'll take him down. Now already a one-man advantage falls into the AGG court, but Glaive going to be looking to return this one. Nearly looks like he wants to go aggressive with the UMP, but I'm glad he opted to rethink that action, as it would have been a very uncomfortable scenario. More than likely would have been him losing his life. Now we'll talk about who's going to be losing their life. It may potentially be the Team X side, as AGG are barreling completely onto the site here, but Glaive going to be stepping up now, finds himself a one frag with the UMP, looking to make it two, but isn't going to spot the player to his left until just too late. Furlong will take him down. The flank going to be key. Well and truly got themselves comfortable on the site, but Valium are getting up, raining the shots down from above, rattling them away as he does things back to a 2v2.
Yeah, the bomb being dropped could be a crucial factor. Free, however, very low on HP and can't really afford to go for any sort of aggressive peaks. You're going to see Groovy retaining that bomb, but really the position of Valde is going to be the crucial position here. He's going to rotate all the way over and may actually be able to catch Groovy as he plants for a position that could actually pay into the favor. If he goes for the other side of the box, you can see they're both standing very close. There goes Rowland. Now Groovy knows there's not too much he can do, but he actually manages to find the frag. And oh, I thought that was going to be a hit. He finds both instead. And AGG, it really does take huge plays to win them rounds, but that's it. They've reset that CT economy. Now they can get themselves maybe even up to 5, and that is a massive loss for Team X.
Certainly not at all what they were hoping for. But even if they get to 5, Team X still have potential to take it to 10. And a 10-5 half on Mirage, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, of course, you have to talk about the sort of more balanced scenario, but taking that round win could have made all the difference. There was no bomb plant down for AGG, and if they'd managed to hit that shot, that one shot from Free, and everything could have been different. Unfortunately, we're looking at a more forced buy scenario. Could lead into another eco for the Team X side. And they're just going to try and make some money here, do some damage, and make sure that the T side are not getting away completely clean.
Molly going to be playing very close with the CZ, and I'm a big fan of where these pistols are playing, because the potential for them to find frags certainly will exist. But the one counterplay to that will be if we do see AGG decide to push up through short. And, well, what are we witnessing, Tom? We are witnessing just that. It's going to be 3 members of AGG just edging their way closer and closer to go for a push here. Valde going to be in a nice position. They will be wrapping behind Furlan. Just going to be looking for a quick frag here. Has spotted him out. Furlan doesn't quite realize what's going on. So this is perfect from Valde, but he can't bite the bullet too early. He needs to get the information exactly where they're playing. I get the potential for him to find 2 frags is there, but he's going to bite the bullet. Finds himself 1 frag. Will get punished. Pete will take him down. And a perfect opportunity perhaps wasted.
Yeah, I think he wanted to bite before the player jumped down, because the second he jumps down, there isn't really any chance to refrag. Pete going to be holding all the angles, and the remainder of these weapons, it may just be worth saving. They're not going to have a buy in the next round either way, so doing the damage with what they have left could be very valuable, but it does seem they are going to go underground, possibly try and shut someone out, take a rifle out of the hands. Hyper is going to take a hell of a lot of damage, and Free coming in from behind could catch him out of place. That is a rifle into the hands of the T's, but he's not done yet. He's actually going to continue the push, manages to drop another one, and now, well, the T's, they have to be careful. They haven't saved their economy just yet themselves. Another rifle picked up. which could mean that there's even a chance of a buy, especially if they get that SMG, which Glaive is yet to actually retrieve. However, he's going to go pushing through the smoke, looking for a little bit more, and actually would just run around in zigzags around his opponent.
All I've got to say is thankfully Pete got away with that one, because if he lost the orb there, it would have been a very brutal circumstance for the AGG side, as you really kind of put the point straight on the table. Their economy is nowhere near stable. They can't afford to go with stupid rebuys here. Well, thankfully it will work out in their favour this time around. A 7-4 scoreline, the potential for them to take 5 will almost certainly exist, something you predicted yourself, Tom, as we now see if this one will unfold in the very much planned fashion.
Yeah, they do have a couple of rifles though, which is something that the T's or CT's managed to retrieve, and of course if they manage to drop 3 or even 2 players, then the chance for a reset on the AGG side is there as well. So I wouldn't say that they're in any sort of safe situation, and they have to almost prompt this as if it were a full buy, not allowing any of the CTs to do too much damage, and they want to keep rolling in this. If they can get themselves the half, that would be more than enough, but we know that sometimes AGG do struggle on that CT side. But there's one of the rifles gone. That's a real nice start. Not going to allow that to do any damage as Snappy falls. Roland maybe down to 50 HP, and that will benefit the pistols slightly, but not anything that they're going to be too worried about just yet. He's playing over towards the connected position while the remainder of the players do build up towards that A sign. This could favor into Glaive, as he's now just going to have a free kill, I'd hope. Takes him a little bit of time, but does manage to get it and grab another rifle, especially with his head armor. That's going to be very valuable. The only problem is, looks like Modi's going to have the majority of the work to do. He just has the USP. The only real benefit he has is the fact that they may not spot him the second he shoots.
Playing this one very much in a quiet fashion, looking to get away with his life here. Potential to find a frag will certainly exist. Going to be tapping around the wall. He's take down the bomb. Finds himself another frag. Glaive going to pick up one for himself. And suddenly around, swung completely. There's a flip of the coin here, as now we're looking at Fel, and he's going to be looking to at least try and do his best. The flash will roll out, but the frag will roll in, and Team X will walk away with a round.
Yeah. I just don't even know. That was just such a poor round. I sort of mentioned the fact that, yeah, the only thing that could really work for him is the fact that they won't realize where he is because of the silencer. They had no clue whatsoever. You just see them spinning around. I think he gets a kill and hits a secondary dink, allowing for his teammate Glaive to get another frag on the board. And, well, Glaive finding that extra rifle with the 5.7 was just so pinnacle in the sort of round change. Free already going to be finding an extra round, but it's gone from AGG being in a real strong position against a weak economy of the Team X side, and rather than now looking for 10 rounds, Team X, they're looking for 11.
Very strong start. They are going to take their 9th in a very convincing fashion. AG seemingly having no response just yet. Oh, now, take a look at their economy, Tom. Is there anything you can use to describe that, apart from just absolutely decimated?
They deserve it. Just for that round. This is what they get. They've destroyed their own economy by just not being able to face off against these anti-ecos. And, well, because of that, the Polish team are now looking at least 10 for the CT side. And the buy they come up with in the next round may not even be anything too impressive, because of the fact that all the rounds they've had have been so close that they really took a hit when they lost that round to an eco.
Rolling out though. Probably going to be trying to do some damage once again here as the HG grenade will roll out. Roland going to be catching that one in a very nice fashion. Knocked down to 43 HP. Hyper going to be jumping around. Will fall. Glaive just doing so much damage with the rifle. Here's Snappy there to help him out. And Team AG just going to be hitting the deck in a fairly convincing fashion. And now, Tom, we roll into that last round. You said Team X were looking for 11. This is their opportunity to claim it. But it's not going to be as easy as facing an eco round, because, of course, the AGG side, they're looking to do the opposite. They want to claim their 5th, and they will have 5 AK-47s to do just that.
Yeah, 5th round would make this look like a more standard Mirage T side, although they really could have done a hell of a lot better. Getting upwards towards 6, I was talking about a point where they could have even won the half, but instead they threw away that round, allowed the economy to fall straight back into the Danish side, and because of that, everything fell apart. They are coming back in with a buy, which is the one sort of positive I have of the last few rounds. Either way, they don't have an AWP, and they're just going to go for a standard smoke setup. You see every single player retreating out of the site at the moment, but it will be one player going aggressive. Glaive is going to walk straight into a Molotov, inevitably burning, and it will be Modi who actually grabs a kill straight back.
Great way to bring it back to a 4v4 scenario, but of course, We do see Hyper. He's playing very much close to CT. There will be the man to watch here. We do see Valde pushing up nice and close, looking for a quick frag here, but he's in fact going to find the frag himself. Valde stepping up to the mark. A nade will land straight to the chest of Furlan, and he's going to be hitting the deck. And, well, one by one, AGG Streams are being just whacked back into the hole. Because he's the last man standing. Valde going to be looking to get on that defuse, going to be toggling it. The smoke will roll down. Now he's going to be sticking it. Well, Pete, what can you do here aside from just lie down on the floor and just take what's coming? Because Freeze, he will deliver that final shot with the AWP. I'm going to watch an 11-4 half come well and truly into fruition for the Danish team.
They got lucky. They did. They could have had a way worse half than that. That big round came out from Glaive, combining with Modi, and Modi only had a USP. That's probably the most frustrating thing about that round, is that he managed to get, what, 2 kills plus like 90 damage assist just playing with the USP, and they just didn't check that angle at all. They didn't have anybody pushing out from Palace. 3 players pushed out from the stairs position, and because of that, everything fell apart, and they've ended up with being severely down already. Of course, the scores are backwards at the moment, as it is Team X who are in the lead, and now they're going to try and take this pistol, and if they do, I think it could be all over.
Certainly true. We're going to be taking a look to see just how this pistol will unfold. Team X going to be putting a little bit more investment into utility this time around. So do you see 2 smokes, 2 flashes, and 2 HE grenades coming into play, as well as 3 sets of body armor for the rest of their teammates. And while for the AGG side, it's going to be reliance on these pistols to find those frags, as they have got 2 sets of body armor. But for the most part, it's going to be utility. Will they be able to land anything? Will be Valde to find the first frag. Spamming away will be Roland. Nothing quite going to connect.
Yeah, building into this one, it seems the T's have got themselves the bomb down on the site. Don't really need to go overly aggressive here, but that is what they're going to do. And now quite a lot of damage coming back their way. CT side will be pushing in. Snappy doing the majority of the damage, with Glaive sort of backing off, trying to hold the position. And Snappy's just pushed through, find himself a triple kill. This leaves just 1 player left, Roland. He's going to actually push towards Snappy, just baiting out the time. This is so smart, and Glaive pushes back in and fires another frag. Really nice pistol, especially from Snappy. And while you look at the sort of performance from some of the players, Glaive, he's gone from being the best player in the first map to not really existing on the second to being the best player in the third map. And we see so many players stepping up with him. Snappy having a phenomenal performance, along with Valde as well. Free, well, he's chugging along, and although Muddy's at the bottom of the board, we still talk about that pistol round that he had, which pretty much turned the game back in their favour.
Well and truly a player who can turn the tide in any scenario, it seems, because even the decisions that he has been making seemingly have huge impact for the Danish tide, who find themselves in a 12-4 scenario. They aren't complaining right now at all, as they have a massive opportunity to keep this trend going. It's going to be just 3 SMGs to try and make themselves some money here. 2 rifles, 1 AK, 1 Galil to take those longer range battles. As we look on the AGG side of things, what have they got? Absolutely nothing.
Yeah. I wonder if they're actually going to go for the early FAMAS buy, just because they have completely ecoed in a round where normally you'd see a lot of teams force. Either that, or they're going to double eco straight and come in with a double AWP setup, which, again, I wouldn't be surprised by that either, just because of the fact that they really seem to love those double AWPs, but they're leaving it pretty damn late, and if that then fails, it could be much worse than just buying up with the FAMASes in the next round. We will have to just wait and see what they're actually planning, especially with the buy coming in at the moment from the T side, which it is just a stack. They've gone to the other side, which is a little bit of luck going their way, a gamble as such, and now Snappy's just going to farm up $1,200. Valde going to try and do the same, and we already see Free going aggressive with the second SMG, so there's still another. Hyper will manage to get himself an extra frag though, so 2 kills for him, $900 made up, 1 with a pistol, 1 with the SMG, and I still feel like they could send Modi in for the hunt because he only has an SMG to lose.
Just trying to bang through this wall, trying to claim Hive's life. He's just going to be camping that corner. But in the grand scheme of things, Glaive seemingly not spotting out a player in the end, but of course it will be Valde to pick him up. Rowland going to be falling there. Hive will get away with the UMP, gets away with that $900. Well, but it's going to be Heath who's going to be happy about that one. It's something. It's a crumb. But is it going to be enough? And now we're going to be seeing the answer. Will it be a FAMAS force-up, or is it going to be that flat eco for the next round? Make sure they go for that double AWP setup, as we will be seeing 1 AWP come into play.
Oh, now this was only possible because Hyper got the SMG kill. Without that, this would not have happened. He had exactly the right amount to buy an AWP for P, This puts a hell of a lot of pressure on his shoulders and also means Hyper has a glass cannon Mag 7, which I don't think, well, it's not even a glass cannon. It's more of a glass shotgun, I suppose. It's not really the best scenario at all, but it is one of those weapons where you need to hit the first shot, otherwise you're dead anyway. So I don't particularly mind. It was a better weapon than if it had been, say, an SMG or something else along those lines. But this is a ballsy play. They've gone all in here to try and make something. It seems like the T's have sort of read it, though, because they now have 4 routers in play. And although that first shot will connect quite heavily, it's not going to do enough. And already we see a 2-man advantage for Team X and possibly the map going into their favor.
Seems so far. Modi going to be going on the aggressive push, give himself in a nice corner. Now going to be just lurching his time there. He waits to see what he can get away with. In fact, they will be backing off this time around. The only 2 players going for the hunt will be Glaive and Valde as they look to find themselves in fractal CT. One will roll in, make that 2. Will they be able to make it 3? Find Pete with the AWP. He's actually going to take down Freeze in the end, so at least it's some damage. But now they know where he is. And just look at the position of Valde. They're going to be cornering him off. There's nowhere for him to face, and he will be hitting the deck. That is the AWP out of the map. And AGG, they are going to be left with absolutely nothing. They're going to be getting themselves a shovel and digging through the sand, trying to find something, just scraps of remains of previous games, because there is nothing for them to put into this one at all. They've got $2,500. If they decide to force this, it would be crazy. If they don't buy this one, they're going to find themselves with the Team X, unless they can go huge with pistols on a series point.
But the added insult as well is the fact that they gave an AWP 2-3. So he's almost just going to be laughing to himself, saying, well, that worked out nicely. You can see from the nice line drawn across the map that every single player on the CT side has edged their way over towards B. And although being very careful at the moment, Team X will soon realize that there is nobody on this site to contest. And that's twice now the gamble has gone the wrong way. Team X, I don't blame them really. They've gone A every single round, but there's been no challenge for them not to. So why not? Why not just keep pushing that sort of direction and taking over the win every single time?
Well, what can they do here? Starladder will find himself 1 frag at least, trying to make something of this P250, but it's not going to be enough. How are they going to be on to push for the chase here? And well, ladies and gentlemen, Team X, the Danish force, they're going to get themselves on series point. They need 1 more round, Tom, to walk away with things. And AGG, we've seen some impressive comebacks before, but this is one hell of a route.
Well, yeah, there's not even going to be too much of a chance for them to have a 4-buy. This will be their only opportunity to get themselves rolling, and they'll have to roll 11 rounds in a row just to get to overtime. They can't even win at this stage without getting to overtime. They did win the last one in that sort of stance, but it was more them in the lead and throwing it away rather than the other way around. So going to have to see someone go absolutely massive. At the moment, I'm almost expecting to see every single player of the 5 best players being from Team X, because it does seem like, although Glaive is playing phenomenally, every single player is on the board at the moment. Again, they're going to go for the A push. I don't see why not. If you can't be stopped, keep going. The Virtus Pro way of doing things, and they're just going to try and plow across that map. Already going to take a nice amount of control, but it will be groovy to find the first frag of the round, and it seems like the CTs have realized this. They've now got every single player over towards that A site. Glaive going to be tagged down to just 4 HP, so headshots is all he's allowed, and Pete will hit a no-scope onto a player with no HP. It's still going to be that 5 versus 3.
5 versus 3 still completely doable. With every single player on that site, the bomb ticking away, they would have to go absolutely huge, but Valde will find the first, will get dropped by Groovy in the end. Now Freeze and Molly, there's still 2 players left alive. Molly will find himself 1, and now it's all on him. He finds himself another frag respectively, but Pete with the AWP will eventually take him down, which means AGG, after a very long fought-out battle, will be able to go for the defuse here. And I've got to say, one thing that comes to mind, Tom, is that there were no kits on the board of AGG pretty much that were accessible in that scenario, which means that if Team X could try and slow them down as much as possible, the potential for them to not be able to fund the defuse there would have been fairly interesting.
But that's another sort of hindsight issue. Like, they would never have been able to tell by the buy that came out from AGG that there wasn't a kit. So to say if they'd played at the time, sure. it's more one of those things. An
interesting fact to look at in the grand scheme of things.
If they had just played it by coincidence, then sure, it may have worked out in their favor, but it doesn't this time. But they're not going to be too troubled about that. They will be able to buy straight back into this one. Rallen will find the first kill, and the double AWP setup has come into play now for the AGG side. They're more favored by on this Mirage and on most maps. Maybe not Overpass, but the others, we definitely see that factor. Free is going to lose this battle as Rallen pushes himself to a second frag. Glaive will manage to trade one back, though, so it's not done yet, and a lot of damage is being done. And you have to remember, if they do manage to take these AWP out of play, 100% weakens the AGG side, and there won't always be an opportunity for a rebuy. So again, we're talking about that factor of damage. Rylan is the only player over towards his B site, and this could be one of the first times they've actually opted to push this, apart from sort of the early rounds when they were up against Ecos. Either way, Snappy currently playing over towards the ladder room. Will go for that build-up, throw the smoke out, but Rylan goes for an aggressive peek. He drops the bomb, going to leave Moddy and Snappy to try and save this.
Rylan just having a huge impact in this round. He's found 3 frags so far, and what they're going to be going for the push on towards the B site now. They have so many players to contest with, as Rylan will find himself another frag. Makes it 4, playing for the ace, and he's going to pull it off. And what a round to do it in, as we find ourselves in a 15-6 scoreline. But I still can't stress enough, Tom, the scoreline of a 15-6 means that AGG may still have a very long road in front of them if they want to bring this one back. But of course, cast your mind straight back to Overpass. We saw a comeback happen then. We saw overtime take hold. Do you think, on a rough prediction kind of scale, do you think it's going to be taking place now?
No. It has to just be one of those straight up blunt no's. It would be a very unlikely scenario. Free already going to take that first kill onto a man who just aced the round, which is a scary factor. Moddy will manage to trade 2 back, and that leaves just 2 players now to stand. And, well, my firm no is starting to be confirmed, as there's only 2 players to try and save this. We saw an ace in the last round. Can't happen again, but a quad kill is what's necessary. Hyper will manage to grab 1. That's something for them to play with, but now the after-plant positions can come in. They push back to short, jungle, and 1 player will go towards ramp. This is going to leave things so, well, sort of impossible, because the after-plant position is just so perfect. The only thing that really buys them any sort of presence is that smoke, and they really have to try and hold this and go for something. Glaive is going to ruin any chance, as Furlan is now down, and all that remains is Hyper to try and bring this back as Free finishes the game. Big 3rd map coming out on Mirage.
Oh, and your firm no really resonating straight into the heads of Team X.
Firm no.
They took that one, and they ran completely home with it. They are going to be walking away with the 3rd map, which means, well, congratulations to Team X. You just picked yourself up another 3 points.
Well, they're through. That's it.
Oh, well, they're more than comfortably through. But before we look at the league tables, let's take a look at that. Overall, the series' best players there. And, well, it's no surprise to me that we see Glaive at the top of that one.
Well, the more surprising thing is that it is 4 players from the lineup. The only one not on there is Free, and Rylan the only player from AGG, and that's all based off that final map, because the first 2 were close, but then everybody else's stats were sort of boosted. You see Moddy with a hell of a lot of entry kills, but Glaive, he really did have a big factor in the first and the last map, the maps that they were able to win, and I feel like sometimes him picking up that sort of mantle really was a big factor. But the KD as well, onto Moddy, 61 frags, the least deaths out of all of the players. He's had a decent series, and again, Valde with impact frags can't really take anything away from any of the players. Even Free had his moments. It's not like anybody was particularly down, but this is the most important thing. We see the fact that Team X and Dignitas are through. I was going to say that the sort of, well, actually the round difference can still make a difference on who goes through top. If Noxacal are able to smash Team X, then maybe they can actually stop them finishing top of the group. But overall, I don't think that's going to be too much of a factor, especially when you look at the groups, like especially Group B. You talk about the fact that the teams that went through, I wouldn't say there's a huge difference in the way they actually play. I wouldn't say, oh my god, yeah, MK, they're the best in that group by a mile. It's not going to be the case. And in terms of Kinguin and Godsent, well, you could even say that against a matchup, Godsent would be a much better team, and Kinguin against Godsent was a better matchup overall. So it really, I don't think the first and second is going to be the biggest factor. But hey-ho, it's always nice to win all 3 maps going confident, and we do have that match coming up. Not the most important map, because it won't affect the standings at all, but Noxacal, they're going to want to build up some pride, and of course, Team X, they're going to want to take all 3 maps. Either way, we are going to be coming back with that one shortly, a little bit behind schedule, but hopefully that will mean the break is a little bit shorter for you guys. We'll be back as soon as possible.